Good morning. It's Tuesday, December 21st. We're bringing you the latest news making headlines to help you start your day.
The Omicron variant is sparking new questions related to domestic travel. Now, some congressional leaders are urging the CDC to tighten up travel requirements.
We're going to begin our coverage with reporter Tori Cooper. She's at the airport today. Tori, what requirements are they calling for?
Yeah, Gravier, congressional leaders are calling for the CDC and the FAA to now require passengers to show proof of vaccination status or proof of a negative COVID-19 test. But the travelers we spoke to here were divided on the issue. Some passengers are just not ready to show proof that they are healthy enough to travel this holiday season.
I'm against it, kind of, because I do think it's going to be a burden on people.
I believe it's a good suggestion.
But 4 members of Congress are now urging the CDC and the FAA to require travelers to either show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test before just hopping on a plane. Congressional leaders sent this letter to the CDC and the FAA on Monday as cases of the new Omicron variant are now doubling in the U.S. every 1 to 3 days, something experts predicted and are still trying to understand.
In the United States, as can be seen, that we are one of the handful of countries that was hit the hardest with this, with now over 50 million cases. And just last week, we passed that very terrible landmark of over 800,000 deaths.
Now, neither the CDC or the FAA have responded back to the congressional leaders that sent that letter. But in order for this to become a reality, right, a few things would still have to happen. The CDC would have to make that recommendation, and then it would be up to the White House to determine if this becomes a reality for domestic travel as well. We'll be keeping an eye on President Joe Biden's press conference later today to see if any announcements come out of that as it relates to domestic travel. Reporting live from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, I'm Tori Cooper, CBS 46 News.
Tori, thanks. Now at 6:36, we're keeping an eye on today with the stories you need to know.
The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office needs help identifying a person of interest in connection with a deadly shooting. They say this person might have important information about a shooting during an October house party that claimed the life of a 14-year-old and injured a 19-year-old. If anyone recognizes this person, they're asked to call the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office immediately.
The fate of Ghislaine Maxwell is now in the hands of a federal jury. She's accused of sex trafficking girls for the late Jeffrey Epstein to abuse. The prosecution presented a case involving a couple dozen witnesses, including 4 women who say they were abused by Epstein as teens with Maxwell's help. Maxwell's attorneys say she's a scapegoat for Epstein.
Get this, new vehicles will be required to get an average of 55 miles per gallon starting with 2026 models. The fuel efficiency standard is part of a plan from the Biden administration to cut climate pollution from vehicles. The new standard is also 12 miles higher than the level previously set by the Trump administration. The EPA estimates the change will save U.S. drivers as much as $420 billion in fuel costs through 2050.
Meantime, gas prices are falling as a rise in COVID cases slows the demand for oil. The national average now $3.30 a gallon. That's down 10 cents from 1 month ago. According to AAA in Atlanta, gas is averaging almost $3.17 a gallon. That's down more than 9 cents from a month ago. Oil prices have been dropping on concerns that countries will restrict business and travel because of the Omicron variant.
And new this morning, a SpaceX cargo Dragon successfully lifted off from Cape Canaveral this morning. It's headed to the International Space Station. The cargo Dragon is taking food and special holiday supplies to astronauts. They'll receive all the goodies around 4:30 tomorrow morning. The rapid spread of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 is prompting another surge of testing, and it's convincing more Americans to get vaccinated or boosted.
Our Rebecca Schramm is joining us live right now. She's in DeKalb County near Decatur. And Rebecca, they're expecting more long lines today.
Yeah, Gravier and Trace, and if today is anything like yesterday, we'll probably start seeing people lining up early here at this site off North Druid Hills. Some to get their shots, others will get tested. Some of them simply so they can feel more comfortable visiting with loved ones at holiday gatherings. At the 10 testing and vaccination sites run by Viral Solutions Atlanta, they're seeing more people than they expected for the holiday surge. Testing is up 300% over the last 2 weeks, and vaccinations are up 30%.
It was surprising that we're in this stage now, being almost 2 years out.
I think a lot of that has to do with still low rates of vaccination, especially in Georgia as well. The vaccine, what it's going to do is it's going to prevent you from getting really sick.
Governor Brian Kemp said Monday he's been watching numbers closely and is seeing hospitalizations rise.
And I'm hoping this variant, even though it's spreading very quickly, which is worrisome because a lot of people are catching it very fast, but it doesn't seem to be as potent as Delta. But that's just the early indicator. So we are literally following this 24/7.
In this footnote for you, CNN is reporting that President Biden will announce today a program set to start next month where you can order home test kits for free. We're going to have more on that as all of this information unfolds. Live in DeKalb County near Decatur, Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
Yeah, that's so important because as Gavir's been pointing out today, those home test kits are very expensive, too expensive for a lot of folks. All right, thanks so much, Rebecca. There is some promising new data out there that vaccine maker Moderna says a larger dose of its booster shot provides significant protection against the Omicron variant. The drug company said its 50 microgram booster dose increased antibody levels 37-fold. But it also said new data suggests a 100 microgram dose increased levels 83-fold. Moderna says it now falls to U.S. public health officials to decide whether the shot should be administered at the larger dose.
We have an update on a CBS 46 investigation into a factory that was blamed for sickening hundreds of people in Cobb County. A judge has just ruled the landlord for Sterigenics can also be held accountable. People living near that plant claim gas emissions gave them illnesses, including cancer. The victims sued Sterigenics and its landlord, Prologis. Prologis filed a motion to dismiss, claiming it was not liable, but the judge rejected that motion. The case now likely will go to trial in 2023. And topping your health news this morning, the FDA has signed off on the world's first injectable medication to reduce the risk of HIV. Previously, there have only been pills available, but those have to be taken daily. The injectable drug is given first as 2 injections, 1 month apart, and then once every 2 months. Trials found it to be more effective than oral medication. The U.S. is the first to approve the drug.
Keep yourself and those around you safe.
We all have to get vaccinated, right?
Michelle Obama joined celebrity moms in a new campaign urging Americans to get vaccinated and boosted for the holidays. The PSA features the mothers of Jonah Hill, Alicia Keys, Adam Levine, Zendaya, Chris Paul, and John David Washington. And this is proof that reading carefully and paying attention to detail can pay off, literally. A professor in Tennessee put a line in the class syllabus that directed students to a specific locker for a freebie. If a student had gone to the locker, they would have found $50 in cash. But of course, because they're college students, at the end of the semester, the professor went to check and yeah, you guessed it, the money was still there.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
They didn't read what they were supposed to be reading?
Yeah, I never read the class syllabus.
I must have been the goody two-shoes that did what I was supposed to do.
I definitely did not.
Oh, well.
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so...
Don't.
Former President Trump publicly saying for the first time that he's gotten the booster shot. You can hear some people in the crowd in Texas didn't support that decision. Still, the former president says his supporters should be proud of the COVID vaccines because they were created under his watch.
The leader of the Buckhead City movement is firing back at Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms after she questioned why he wants Buckhead to separate from Atlanta. She made the comment during a City Hall roundtable yesterday. Mayor Bottoms saying the push to create a Buckhead City is all political.
It's no secret that I was very vocal on how I felt about Donald Trump. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the man who is leading this movement is new to Atlanta and was a very big Trump supporter.
The CEO of Buckhead City Committee is calling the comments, quote, absurd. He says in part, quote, saying our efforts are about punishing her and not about improving the overall quality of life in Buckhead goes beyond insulting to me. It's yet another slap in the face to the 70% of Buckhead residents who have had enough of Atlanta City Hall.
It's just about 18 minutes after 6 now, and the numbers for the New Year's countdown are now ready to go up in New York City. The 7-foot-tall numbers took a cross-country road trip from California to New York, giving people all across the country a chance to check them out ahead of New Year's Eve. And get this, that sign is made up of 599 light bulbs. It's going to be placed atop One Times Square on Thursday.
Hey, pal. How you doing?
That's adorable, right? The president and the first lady have added to their family. This is a little furry member. It's the Biden's new German Shepherd puppy named Commander. The Biden's beloved German Shepherd champ died in June at the age of 13. The first family also says it plans to get a cat.
Look at that guy. I mean,
they can be cat people and dog people.
Yeah, I mean,
works.
They're the first family.
Right?
They can do whatever they want. Right? Now, the National Hockey League has announced it is pausing its season because of COVID concerns.
Our team coverage continues right now with Brooks Baptiste. Brooks, do we have any idea on when the league plans to reopen?
Yeah, good morning to you, Gavir and Tracy. That's been the big question, but here it is. It's Monday. Yeah, we know that those games are scheduled to resume next Monday, so not a very long shutdown, at least at this moment. Now, just to put things into perspective for you, in the last few weeks, more than 40 games have been canceled. And check this out, more than 100 players were put on the COVID protocol list. The league announcing Monday that the pause would go into effect starting tomorrow, meaning there's not going to be any games, no practices until after Christmas. But the league is facing some criticism right now as some fans wonder why this pause is just 4 days long. Take a look at these tweets. One Twitter user saying this, "That won't change anything," referring to that pause, saying Omicron won't be gone by then. And then you have this user saying, "What? 4 days?" Now, in the statement that was released by the NHL Monday, it stated that the league is actively discussing whether players should participate in the 2022 Beijing Olympics. But as you know, a lot of things are up in the air right now. So now you've got the NHL that's actually postponed its season, but then you still have the NBA, the NFL, who have all, postponed different games. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this unfolds.
Very interesting. 100 players, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks much, Brooks. Welcome back. Parents and guardians, listen up. An elementary school teacher was arrested in a sting operation after police say he was trying to meet a child for sex. Jeremy Bowman was a teacher with the Chattooga School District until the school board accepted his resignation in an emergency meeting. But parents tell CBS 46's Sierra Cummings they're frustrated with how this case was handled.
A Monday emergency Chattooga school board meeting to accept the resignation of Lyrie elementary teacher Jeremy Bowman.
I mean, it's very disheartening. I can say that.
The educator resigned Sunday after a weekend arrest in a child predator sting operation. Asked parent Autumn Patterson.
So he wasn't fired?
The educator should have been terminated. This weekend, Floyd County investigators say 6 men in total believe they were meeting a child for sex after chatting online. In some cases, suspects allegedly had even shared nudes or asked for them. But parents like Patterson say he should have been out of the classroom back in September when she, along with others, accused him of harming her daughter.
Left a bruise from his fingernails being dug into her skin. So we realized this was real. This wasn't just the kids saying we don't like him for this reason, we want him gone. They were actually saying that he was abusing them.
CBS found these sheriff's office reports alleging Bowman roughly grabbed his students, scratched them, or even pulled their hair. But Chattooga School District says there was never a complaint about sexual misconduct, only disciplinary concern, and not enough evidence to pursue criminal charges. The school did issue an internal write-up against Bowman.
And so we took it serious and, had it checked out.
Parents claim the district has not done enough to keep them informed.
You never know who's around your kid every single day.
In Lyerly, Sierra Cummings, CBS 46 News.
It's 17 minutes after 5. There's a live look right now at our nation's capital where a White House staffer has tested positive for COVID-19 after being in close contact with President Biden on Air Force One. The president has since tested negative and will test again tomorrow. In the meantime, the White House says the president will continue with his schedule as normal.
We have a very thorough process here that people abide by who are going to have close contact with the president and even beyond that. And those protocols go above and beyond CDC guidelines.
And the White House says it does not plan to change its COVID protocols at this point. And they say that 99% of staffers have received their booster shots.
Thanks for watching CBS 46 News. Watch us live wherever you are, our mobile and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.